Here's your opportunity to advertise your business. Monday Night Politics will reach voters statewide. Don't miss the opportunity to get your business seen across the state of Texas. To advertise and for more details, contact Molly Finch Belt, publisher and CEO of the Dallas Examiner, by phone or by email. We want to thank our advertisers, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok followers, sponsors, and subscribers for your support during Monday Night Politics Meet the Candidates. Monday Night Politics Meet the Candidates is a forum for candidates for elected office presented by the Dallas Examiner. This forum allows candidates to list their qualifications and gives them the opportunity to address issues facing Texas voters. Now that the Texas primaries and runoff elections have been held, the Dallas Examiner has invited Democratic and Republican candidates to a forum. For details on forum dates and times, visit dallasexaminer.com or find us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. To advertise or become a corporate sponsor, contact Molly Finch Belt, publisher and CEO of the Dallas Examiner, by phone or by email.
Good evening and welcome to Monday Night Politics Meet the Candidates, presented by the Dallas Examiner. The Dallas Examiner has presented Monday Night Politics Meet the Candidates for over 12 consecutive years before major elections. Monday Night Politics Meet the Candidates is a series of forums, not debates, but forums designed to inform the community of the qualifications, experiences, and platforms of candidates for elected office. Our sponsors are nonprofit organizations. You can view the forums on www.dallasexaminer.com and Facebook Live. Also, you can view it on the Dallas Examiner app. Tonight, for this series of forums, our moderator is Charles O'Neill. Charles is president of the Texas Association of African American Chambers of Commerce. He was the first editor of the Dallas Examiner and was here when my father started the paper 37 years ago. Again, I want to thank you for attending Monday Night Politics and thank you for your support.
Welcome back to Monday Night Politics, our September 19th edition. Tonight we're joined by two candidates for Dallas County District Attorney's Office. Interestingly enough, as you can see, both of the candidates for that office, both Republican and Democrat, are African American, which is unique for a Texas county, particularly of this size. Our incumbent is District Attorney John Creuzot, and the challenger, Ms. Faith Johnson, who, again, is a former district attorney of Dallas County. Both of these candidates will have 2 minutes for opening statements, and then we'll get into some questions, okay? And we'll start with you, Ms. Johnson, for 2 minutes.
May I stand?
You may, if you
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Faith Johnson, your next Dallas County District Attorney. I served in this position back in 2017 and 2018. In fact, back then, the Dallas Morning News said of me, not that I was a good leader, not that I was a great leader, they said I was an exceptional public leader. Dallas County is still in need of an exceptional public leader. A leader who has vision, commitment, dedication, and experience. A leader who is committed to upholding her oath as it relates to the laws of this country and the laws of this state. Dallas County is in need of a leader who cares about you, your family, your fortune, and your future. And it doesn't even matter who you are, where you live, how much money you make. It doesn't even matter. In terms of the color of your skin, a DA is responsible to make certain that the people of this county is safe and secure. Look at what's happening in Dallas County. The crime is up. In fact, FBI reports that Dallas County is raising, the crime is raising so that pretty soon we will be #1 in terms of the murder rate in Dallas County. You now have to make a choice. Do you want to stay where crime is at, or you want it to go down? This is a deciding moment for the people of Dallas County. You now get an opportunity to decide the destiny of Dallas County. Vote Faith Johnson, your next Dallas County District Attorney.
Thank you. Mr. Creuzot?
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everyone, for the opportunity to present, to be here, and for your participation in this. Yes, I am your Dallas County District Attorney. I have been for 4 years, and with your vote and your support, I will be for another 4 years. So, yes, let's talk about exceptional leadership, and let's talk about what we've actually done as opposed to what a newspaper has called us. You know that I started the Dallas County Divert Program. When I did that, there was no other judge who wanted to do it, who was willing to do it, and take the opportunity to do it. I did it. It was groundbreaking, nationally recognized, and became the foundation for closing 15 prisons in the state of Texas. When it came to the underlying reasons for crime and criminal activity, substance abuse and mental health, we have addressed that. We've done that also in this administration. I promised some criminal justice reform measures, and I put them into place, which was a shock to a lot of people. Every year, including 2017 and 2018, by the way, 95% or so of the people arrested in this county for misdemeanor marijuana were people of color. We are policed differently, we're handled differently, and we're criminalized. And I promised to stop it. I did. And SMU has put out a report that we're having great success. I've also worked with our legislators, especially Senator West, to get the Richard Miles Act passed. What is that? That requires the police to turn over all of the evidence at the time of the filing of the case. Why is that important? Because we can find out if you're guilty or innocent in a timely manner. What else did we do? We worked with Carl Sherman, and we got Bowles Act passed, so the police don't turn off the cameras during what? The investigation. Very important. What else have we done? We've also tried more murder cases. Let me give you an idea of what we've done. Since 2019, we've tried and handled and resolved 681 murder cases with a 93% conviction rate. And the same thing with sex assaults. We've tried more, fewer acquittals, and more guilties than the previous administration. Thank you.
Well, I thank you both for those statements. We talked earlier with candidates for the State Board of Education, and I can't think of two issues, two challenges that face our community, particularly the black community, more than criminal justice and education. You both touched on something that the first thing that went off in my mind was there was a time when the Dallas County District Attorney's Office, from this lens, was purely focused on sending folk to Huntsville, folk that look like us. And so any changes in the way that justice is administered from that office is welcome. What are some of the, besides those that you've ticked off, Mr. Creuzot, what are some of the shifts in the workings of the office that have resulted in the kinds of data that you just related to us?
Well, so if anybody had an opportunity to see the Public Safety Committee last week and Chief Garcia and his criminologist, they mirror everything that I do. And that is, what is the problem? Are there research-based solutions to the problem? Are you going to implement it? Mm-hmm. And if so, are you going to do with fidelity and you test the results? Mm-hmm. So what we have, for example, in our mental health division, we reorganized that. We've put more lawyers in it, and we're dealing with more cases, a 60% increase in the cases. Mm-hmm. And so what we have done, and something that only between the two of us, ever done, is implemented an evidence-based program, monitor it, and come out with evaluations. Mm-hmm. The normal across the nation recidivism rate or rearrest rate for those people with serious mental illnesses is 50 to 70%. Ours is 20%. Mm-hmm. So obviously we're working. The other thing we did was we put in and we took more responsibility within the office for people who violate their probations. And what we've done has been more cautious about putting people in jail for things like not doing community service and not paying their fines and things like that. And that has resulted in 100 fewer people per day in the Dallas County Jail, which I don't need to tell you, we're in a crisis mode for that. So we look at things, we see what the problems are, and then we put in a program to take care of the problem, if we can, based on research, and then we monitor it. And I'm the only one of the two candidates with that experience. I started divert court that way, I ran it that way, I learned that way, I taught around this nation. I have a national reputation for evidence-based programs that work, that reduce rearrest, and also save money. And so all of these things come with a cost-saving component. Another little thing very quickly, the Dallas County Deflection Center. The mentally ill and the homeless, the police are now finally using it, and they're sent there instead of to jail, where they stack up because there's no place to put them. So that, we'll look at the results of that. We just opened it up this summer.
That's good. That's good. Thank you so much. Ms. Johnson, what are, clearly you can respond to that, but what are some of the things that you would pursue should you be elected as district attorney?
Thank you. Again, Faith Johnson, your next Dallas County District Attorney. I have 4 key criminal justice reforms that I am interested in. First off, we need to realize that people in Dallas County do not feel safe. Number one, day one, I'm going to reinstate the prosecution of theft cases under 750. Number two, I plan to also prosecute capital murder cases in appropriate situations. Number three, I also plan to, we have this issue of second chances. I'm one person believe in second chances. I was the one who was responsible for the dysfunction program because I believed in second chances. But I do not believe in unlimited number of chances that will impact the safety of the people of Dallas County. And number four, I plan to reinstate my homeless diversion program and enhance on that program, because that program is not just about addressing homelessness, it's also about addressing all those wraparound services that homeless people are faced with every day. I am committed to making certain that the people in Dallas County, I hear you, you don't feel safe, you do feel insecure. And when you look at all of these changes that have happened over the last 4 years, in essence, what we are looking at is that the current DA is causing criminals to feel more comfortable than our victims. And we need to understand that we got to be able to make certain that the people of Dallas County is safe. Vote for Faith Johnson, your next Dallas County District Attorney.
You know, I'm not to be argumentative or disagreeing at all, but I don't know that the public perceives the district attorney's office as the solution to criminal behavior. That is where you go and get sentenced for your criminal behavior. That police departments have more impact, immediate impact, on perceptions of safety in a community. And so, you know, we know that your office will have to necessarily interact with the Dallas Police Department and other departments across the county to improve that level or that feeling of security in Dallas County. What has been your experience, Mr. Creuzot, in the ability to work throughout the county, not just here in Dallas, but across the county with law enforcement?
Well, I want to address this thing about feeling safe. First of all, don't believe me. Just go Google it yourself. Dallas is the only major metropolitan area in the United States where violent crime is going down. I sat behind the police chief and watched the presentation. I've given Ms. Belt a multi-page document that she can load onto her newspaper site, and you can go through and get the links yourself. Now let's talk about my relationship with the police and violent crime and this feeling of things, okay? Number one, we lost an African-American female police chief behind a rising crime rate that had nothing to do with who the district attorney was. And then we got another one, a police chief, who has done what? Brought in an evidence-based approach. And what do we see in the city of Dallas? Violent crime going down. So it has a lot to do with the police. What does the DA's office do? Tries cases. This past week, we tried 4 cases and got 4 life sentences, 2 of them life without parole. So we're doing our jobs, okay? When you look at the comparison of the focus that we have on violent crime, it's more focused than before, and we're achieving those results. And you're right, family dynamics, mental health, the quality of the neighborhood, all of those things, if you listen to Eddie Garcia, he's got it, and he and his folks are working on that. And we're also working on getting ahead of this with the Garland Police Department and the Dallas Police Department, once again with the criminologists, to get in front of the violent criminals so that we can stop their behavior. Because once somebody commits a violent crime, to try them 2 years later and get a life sentence, you've basically lost, because the victim has already been victimized. And we understand that. So this is not about talk or feelings. This is about actual work based on research in collaboration with our police departments. And in addition to that, I alone have given our police departments over $500,000 to address what? Homelessness, mental health, substance abuse. That's why that multi-million-dollar deflection center is open, so we can get people the wraparound services and the help they need, which was a lot better than a program at the Dallas City Library. I think it's much more.
Mr. Moderator, I think it's incorrect to think that the DA's office has nothing to do with the crime in our county. When you have policies that dictate that I will not prosecute anyone who steals under $750, that's impacting crime in our county. So therefore, people in our county now believe that they can go and steal, and which is exactly what they're doing, to steal from shop owners who have committed their lives to their businesses. But the DA has said it's okay to take from you. So the DA has an integral relationship with the crime and the impact of what's happening in Dallas County. So you can't say it's just the police who has a responsibility to arrest, but when you have policies in place, i.e., I won't prosecute you if you steal under $750, it's impacting the whole county of Dallas, and it's impacting hard-working people who have built their business, built their lives. We've had people who have literally gone out of business because people are stealing them blind. Come January 1, 2023, 12:01 a.m., that policy is going out the window. That's one thing that I will do as your next Dallas County District Attorney.
One of the other challenges that faces the quick administration of justice is crowding in jail facilities.
Sure.
How does the district attorney's office interact with the judiciary in Dallas County in addressing the backlog in cases? Somebody get arraigned and then they sit in jail.
Let me answer one thing first. First of all, my policy is not about theft, 750 slash. It's about food, diapers, formula, okay? And you know I've asked all the chambers of commerce, can you tell me one business, one person, any impact? Our numbers show the same exact number of cases and the same number of cases rejected. So there is no evidence that this has caused a crime wave. This is just political talk is all it is. But getting back to the jail. So there is a law that says if a person is not indicted on a felony case within 90 days, they're going to be released from jail. Okay? There was a system, in fact, she and I both voted on it, to put it into place back in the early 2000s. And the judges, we didn't have to do it, we did. It was to help with jail population. And during a bail reform lawsuit, the judges decided to do away with it, and that was legal, that was okay. The only problem is it's impacted jail population in a negative manner. The other thing is that state government is not spending enough money on mental hospitals for those in the criminal justice system. And there are cases where people are getting in, they're incompetent to stand trial, and they time out. We have to dismiss their cases before they go to the hospital. So what happens? They go right out just as sick as they were in. They're going to be back in. Then you have the more serious cases where people are in. One man now up between 4 and 5 years. It's a felony case. He shot at some people. He's not going to get his case dismissed. But there are hundreds of those people in Dallas County Jail, like Harris County Jail. We happen to be 1 and 2 in that category. But you get these large urban areas, what you find is it's hard to get these people onto the services that they need. A few years ago, somebody would be there 30, 60 days, they'd move on. Now, the wait is 2 years. And that is strangling the Dallas County Jail, it strangles the sheriff, but it's really not a DA policy. We're all within the policy of the state, and we have to deal with whether they're funding these hospital beds or not. And as you've seen, Commissioner Price has addressed those two issues over and over.
Ms. Johnson,
Those of you who are listening and on Facebook, if you've been impacted by your business in the 750, I need you to write in and let this body know what's going on in your business. Now, I think your question was, what is the relationship between the judges and the DA? Obviously, you gotta have a good working relationship. We know that everybody have their own role to play, but it's important to have that good relationship. And that's one of the things that the judges right now, and most of those, all of those judges who are sitting now down at Frank Crowley are Democrats, and they're criminal judges in the Frank Crowley Court building. And all of them, most of them, 90% of them who said of me, Faith, you were a good leader. We need you back because of the relationship. We need to be able to have a working relationship. You can't allow a prosecutor to go into a judge's courtroom and not at least provide all the information that judge is going to need to be able to make an adequate decision. You can't sit back and say, oh, Judge, whatever you want to do, you just do what you want. We got to be able to work together. As a DA, one of my assistant DAs have to be able to provide all the information that's needed so that judge can make the proper decision whether or not someone ought to be released or not be released, whether or not that bond ought to be $500,000 or $50. So the DA and the judges has to have a good relationship. I had an excellent relationship with the judges when I was the DA in 2017 and 2018. I'm looking forward to having another good relationship with those judges down there, working so that we can impact this county and make certain that the people of Dallas County are safe and secure.
Let's stay up there, Ms. Johnson. Last question, the upcoming legislative session. How, again, I will again subjectively characterize the legislature as having acted heavy-handedly in matters of criminal justice reform. How will you interact with the upcoming Texas legislature to ensure that Dallas County benefits from the decisions made at the legislature? And that's and make this be your closing statement.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
When I was DA in 2017 and 2018, we had prosecutors. We had 2 prosecutors. When the legislative session is going on, we're there every day. In fact, they literally moved down to Austin during the session. So we are committed to working hand in hand with our legislature to be able to make certain laws that we think that we need improvement on, laws that we need to change, laws that we need to delete. We want to be able to have a voice and to speak, and that is the proper place to speak, right there during those sessions, so that changes can be made and our voice will be heard based on what we know. Now, I said to you all earlier, I care about you. I do. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you look like, black, brown, green, rich, poor, young, old. That's why I'm running for this position, because I'm concerned about the safety and the security of the people of Dallas County. I swear to you, I will uphold my oath. It means something to me to abide by the laws of this state and of these United States. And I will prosecute people who commit theft under 750. I will give second chances in those appropriate cases, but I will not give unlimited chances when it impacts the public safety. I will address the homeless problem in Dallas County. I had a divert program. I'm going to enhance it. I have some great ideas in terms of what we're going to do with the homeless and the mental illness. Faith Johnson, you have a moment to choose whether you stay with what's going on or whether you change it And you can change it by voting for Faith Johnson, your next Dallas County District Attorney. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Mr. Creuzot, your relationship with the Texas legislature and your closing statement.
Yep, my relationship is excellent, and that's why we got those laws passed. In fact, I can say not only do I have people there, but I can tell you of actual laws that we got passed that impact the quality of justice, not just in this county, but across the state of Texas, and operate as models. My relationship with the judges is fantastic, okay? Why? Because I understand them. I was a judge for 21 years. I understand their needs. And this about going back and forth about setting bonds and back and forth, we don't even have the opportunity to be present at the initial bond setting. And I agree that some bonds are set too low and some people get out, but until the commissioners fund that, and we've seen that, you've seen that, we've argued for it over and over and over. I want you to do something. If you think you believe this, I will never run a campaign based on fear. I will, however, run a campaign and administer a public office based on ideas with workable solutions, and I will give you the data. And not one bit of data has come from this side about anything that was done, any program that was started, or how it impacted this community, either on reducing crime or saving you money. When it comes to the marijuana thing, that 95% or so every year was in 2017 and 2018, and what did we get? Continued prosecution, complicity in the police. It's Jim Crow policing of our children, and somebody needed to put a stop to it. If you really want to get serious about somebody who's willing to do what? Stand up and step forward on these issues and has a documented history of it, then I'll get your vote again. If you're interested in somebody who talks a game but sits down and does nothing when you had 2 years to do it, then I'm not going to get your vote, but I don't think that's the way it's going to be. I've given you the numbers. Go to Ms. Belt's website. We've handled the murders. We've handled the sex abusers. We've handled those who are serious criminals in this county, and we've done a good job. If not, go ask your mayor or your police chief if I've done anything to contribute to crime. Your answer will be no. Thank you.
Thank you so much for both of our candidates. The incumbent district attorney, Mr. John Creuzot, is a Republican challenger, Ms. Faith Johnson. Thank you both for joining with us tonight. We will be back with you shortly with our final forum for tonight with candidates for Dallas County Judge. Thank you so much.